Hi, everyone. Welcome to the fourth and final week of our Advent journey, Adore. As we finish up the season of Advent this week, we give thanks to God for this gift and opportunity to spend this time with Him during this very blessed season. You might notice that the background's a little different today. I'm recording this video from my room in the rectory. You can see my Christmas tree right here. I'm sure much like me, you've been busy over these last few weeks with spiritual preparations, but then also the practical preparations that come with this time of the year, like putting up our Christmas tree. But these are the treasured traditions of the season that really connect us back to Christmases past, to folks who maybe family members and friends who aren't with us anymore. These traditions help us connect to them, and ultimately, they connect us back to Jesus. That's really, as we know, what the meaning of this season is, and all of the decorations that we put on our Christmas trees and around our houses really, when we look at them, we're meant to remember the Lord. Um, the readings for this fourth Sunday of Advent are particularly beautiful. If you have been following my weekday homilies during this season, you know that I am particularly fond of the prophet Isaiah during this time of the year. And the first reading today from Isaiah is the ultimate prophecy of the coming of the Messiah. The virgin will conceive and bear a son, and you will name him Emmanuel. Emmanuel, which means God with us. Our names are so important, aren't they? As parents, I know parents really struggle and really want to pick the perfect name for their children, because that name is going to follow them throughout their entire lives. When we're baptized, we're literally called by name. We're baptized with our name, by which we become sons and daughters of God. Our name is so important. And the name that Jesus receives is Emmanuel, which is God with us. And that's the theme of this fourth and final week of Advent. You know, God with us, the name of Jesus. When we look at how God comes to us, very rarely does He come in spectacular signs. Even though the nativity of Jesus, the birth of Jesus, was accompanied by a spectacular sign, the angel chorus in the sky singing. When you look at the nativity, it's not much to look at. We kind of sentimentalize it a lot in art, which is great, and but you look at it, and what do you see there? You see a young girl of 12 or 13, unremarkable by human standards. You see a man, Joseph, though descended from David, his lineage, his line is practically obscure. He's a carpenter of no note. Shepherds occupied sort of the lowest rung of society at the time. Decent people didn't associate with shepherds. Animals, nothing particularly spectacular there. But when we look with the eyes of faith, we see a lot more. We see God with us. We see the fulfillment of millennia of prophecies of the coming of the Messiah, how God was going to come to His people, how God was going to wipe away the sins of the people Israel, how God was going to call the entire world to Himself, and how God was going to wed His creation to Himself. We see fulfillment of those prophecies over millennia. And we see God's desire to be close to us. Who doesn't like to be close to a baby? Everybody loves babies. God becomes a baby so that we will be willing to draw close to Him. If He came in a spectacular sign, sure, we kind of be excited by it or whatever, but we might be scared by it and say, no, no, thank you. But babies, everybody loves babies. So, that's really how God's grace works. God's grace doesn't force itself on us. God's grace comes close to us, or it kind of up comes up next to us to guide us, to push us, to move us in the direction that we're supposed to be going. And ultimately that grace helps to transform us into God's sons and daughters, to perfect that divine life that is within us. That's what God's grace does. God's grace doesn't overwhelm our nature, who we are as people. God's grace seeks to perfect our nature. And we see that in the coming of Emmanuel. God comes, takes on our human nature, takes on flesh in order to perfect us so that we can go to heaven. So ultimately, that's a tremendous gift, the gift we celebrate this season. I hope you enjoy the final two videos from Father John Burns. There's the video for the fourth week of Advent, then there's also a concluding video that he has, which is linked to the email that I sent to you today. There's a couple new quotes for the season of Advent. I put a couple Christmas ones in there this week, and then also the videos, the other assorted videos. There's one from Father Bishop Robert Barron, and also from Father Mike Schmitz from Ascension Presents, as a final kind of reflection for the season of Advent. I haven't forgotten about the survey email that I promised to send out. That will be coming to you very soon, so that you can let us know if you like this program, if you like this format, and your thoughts for future seasons, like seasons of Lent coming up very closely, very soon. It's kind of scary to say, but let's worry about that later. For now, have a very Merry Christmas. God bless you, everyone.